We are going to get into the news, I think.
Yes, let's move on to the news.
Well, the big news this last couple of weeks was the Geneva Auto Show.
True.
A lot going on over there. Most of it good, some of it crazy, some of it downright bad.
It's kind of like, well, it's better than Tokyo.
Yeah, it's less crazy than Tokyo.
Yeah.
Not as good as Detroit. Not as solid as Detroit.
Not as solid as
Detroit. There was, as far as quantity this year, a lot came out of it.
We're not going to bring everything, but we're going to.
But some of the crazy stuff comes out of Geneva too. I mean,
yeah.
Detroit doesn't have wind speed, thankfully.
Yeah. Detroit doesn't get nearly as crazy. As
well, let's start this out here.
What do we got? Okay, the Audi RS3.
Yes.
This is the ultimate version of the A3, which is actually the A3. We were just driving a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
But Eric, give us a quick summary. You like it, you don't like it?
Just, I like it, I don't like it?
Yes.
Wow.
I'll give you...
I'm going to say, if I've got to go from one to the other, I don't.
Okay. We'll get details on that, but I'm kind of with them on that. Yeah.
More to follow. We'll pick that up later.
But this has the turbocharged 5-cylinder, right?
True.
Not an engine
from
on
the TTRX.
Not an engine on paper that sounds like it's going to be one of our favorites.
Well, we've documented before that we're not big fans of the 5-cylinder engine. It's just.
But if somebody's going to do something with it, it would be these guys.
Yes. Well, yeah, but they also were the ones that screwed up the.
That's more Volkswagen.
Well, all right.
But the R people, they could be on something here.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll give it a shot. But this isn't really coming to America anyway, is it?
Not looking good, but
Americans don't like hatchbacks.
No,
yeah,
don't like hatchbacks.
No.
Especially very expensive ones, as this certainly would be. Although we did win them out, we waited them out on the RS5. That's finally going to come in a year or two, probably 6 months before they cancel it. And we're also getting
the TTRS. We are getting that.
We waited them out on that too.
Yeah.
So if you really want this, write a strongly worded letter on Audi's Facebook, and good luck.
And getting good with your Audi dealer, so you can be one of the very few.
Yes. Now this one, there was two images. The one that was actually at the show, it had the red wheels.
And I didn't like that.
Oh yeah, that was a very interesting shift for Audi.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that this particular one doesn't have the red wheels.
But this really looks pretty good, actually.
Yes, very aggressive in the front.
It's very aggressive.
And of course,
nice space on an old body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much to see out back, really, and there's only so much you can do with that shape. But, that looks pretty good. That looks like it should be on the front of the RS5, really. And that's a gorgeous car.
Oh, yeah.
So, unfortunately it comes home like that, but... Okay, anyway.
Okay, but we'll move on because they showed us the concept A3, the future A3, the next one. Yeah. Which actually, this one is the sedan,
which
we've never had.
Which looks really
never had.
Yeah, we've never had that before. We've had the A4 has been the smallest sedan so far, but that one keeps getting bigger. Just like everything keeps getting bigger. So this might be good.
This looks really good.
Oh,
we have talked about this ahead of time.
Absolutely.
But I think we've got decent overhangs on both ends. Actually, pretty tight. I just like it. It's clean.
It's got a 6-window greenhouse. It's very.
Obviously those wheels are laughably large.
It's every bit. It's every bit as good looking as the A4, just on tidier dimensions.
Yeah, it is tidier. And I don't know dimensions right offhand, and I don't know what dimensions Cadillac's going to bring with the ATS. But it sounds like, and BMW kind of sounds like they might be getting the same game too. They're kind of resetting. They're calling something new, but they're kind of resetting, going back to a segment that everybody's going out of. The CTS has gotten too big, the 3 Series has gotten too big, the A4 has gotten too big. We're coming back to an A3. BMW's thinking about doing a 1 Series sedan, all this kind of stuff. Cadillac with the ATS, we don't know exactly what dimensions they're aiming for, but I think we're coming back to this segment. And if they all look anywhere near as good as that, that's going to be a whole new.
I think they're onto something there.
Yeah. So,
Audi,
pretty good show from them.
Cruise hatchback, 5-door, whatever you want to call it.
We're not getting this in the States.
Yeah.
But
They say they're going to watch what Ford's Focus hatchback does before they bring the Cruise.
Which
hatchback.
I think that is brilliant. With the Focus.
Oh, the Focus hatchback does look brilliant.
I mean,
Yeah.
It looks
it's
much more
well
brilliant than this.
proportioned. It's
I don't know if waiting
dramatic.
for them is much of a gutsy move.
Yeah, this one, I don't know. It seems like it ends not well. And I'm a big fan of the hatchbacks.
I think we all are. This picture is actually one of the better views of the Cruise, I think. And I really liked that kindly show car concept version they had coming out. I thought that looked pretty sharp. And now this production version has lost a bit of its edge, I think. From certain angles, it actually, I think they just screwed up just a bit here on this rear
It's
flank.
very strong here, and then it just gets really weak in the end.
Well, the Cruise sedan is a sedan that has this big roof line that kind of makes the car lean backwards a little bit, almost like it's rear wheel drive. The Fiesta, is a very much more.
Well, it's like a more traditional hatch. I think it's almost a vertical hatch.
Yeah.
Right.
And this really goes forward.
Yeah.
It's
So this
slightly notchbackish, maybe, without like the notch.
Very, very slightly. It's not a true hatch in the sense of the 3. The Mazda 3 is kind of the modern definitive hatch. I brought it back here, probably, I would say. The new Focus 5 doors got a fairly traditional roof line, although there's probably splits the difference here, but they do it really well. What was the other one you mentioned?
The Fiesta.
Oh,
The
Fiesta
Fiesta
does it pretty well design-wise. I don't know. The Cruise sedan seems to be selling hotcakes, so bringing this is probably not their first priority. And I'm really, truthfully, I'm not positive that I'm going to miss it now that I've seen the production version. But things can look slightly different in the metal.
Yeah, you see
we
one on the street.
Yeah, we haven't seen one on the street, so we'll hold out on that. We could probably go either way. I'm saying
I won't be upset when they show up. If they bring
usually
it.
in favor of cheap hatchbacks, so bring it on.
Yeah, more than merrier.
Okay.
This is actually now. This is the European version. This is the Hyundai i40 wagon, which the i40 is kind of like our Sonata.
Yet it looks like an Elantra.
It's really weird how they've grafted a very Elantra-esque nose onto that thing. Fenders and everything. I mean, it's not just headlights and grille. It's
I don't
completely different front
understand the purpose of that, really.
Well, it seems like it's kind of like what they did with the Mazda 6 here and the Mazda 6
it is. It's like
Atenza over there. It's like two different ones, but they share the same name.
Or the difference between European Accord and North American Accord. Of course, we've got the European Accord as a TSX, but you look at them in the United States, it's like, well, that's not the same car, but they are the same car.
Exactly, but not.
But yeah, I'm just wondering is the difference, are all Sonatas that are made here in Alabama now, are they the U.S. cars, or do they export these? Are these, is the world version of the Sonata made in a different plant somewhere else?
Exported from Alabama?
Well,
I don't know.
You're asking me. Oh, I thought you knew the answer.
No.
My guess is that, the American Sonata is made here for us in that plant. This plant makes the rest of the world Sonatas, and that's why it's makes a little more sense on why they really completely restyled from it. Otherwise, I don't see any reason to do that.
I don't know. That's a good question. But it does bring it back in line with like the Sonata hybrid.
Yes.
Because it has more of the family.
This is the Hyundai corporate face, aside from Sonata and Genesis.
Exactly.
Yeah, you think maybe they decided to go like this future-wise, and maybe this facelift is a couple years down the road for us.
For us, it may be.
Or
I hope the wagon's a couple years down the road.
That looks good.
I mean, it's very. Other than the way that this rises, kind of reminds me of like I don't know, Mercedes R-Class.
No. It's way better.
It looks big. I mean, in person, I'm sure it looks.
Well, this angle is about 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah, it's.
But this looks good. The greenhouse has a nice aggressive look.
Oh yeah, it's very much so.
I don't know. We're wagon fans too, so the more wagons, the happier we are. So
bring it.
Bring this. Bring this.
Oh my.
This. Well,
you know what? We do have a couple issues with this. At least I do.
All the grills.
There should be British racing green. We know that.
It should.
Don't screw that up.
Those wheels are ginormous.
They look like this.
I know.
Don't hit a speed bump.
Yeah, don't hit a speed bump. It's 1, 2. I mean, there's a gill here and there.
This
and
is
there.
more than
and those They say it improves aerodynamics and the breathing and everything else. That's supposed to. It's all functional, but
this is what 550 horsepower.
Oh, is that all?
That's pretty good. And this is I don't know.
And this is called the XKR-S.
Yes.
We need to add
most of the alphabet in the name.
Yes, I think we need a few more letters in there. The next one's going to be like XKRSTWX ABC.
Gamma.
It's getting a little ridiculous, but besides it's slightly over stylized, I bet that drives really good. And we know how good the 5-liter Jag engine sounds in a normally aspirated engine. This one is supercharged within an inch of its life. I bet there's some sound deadening missing. I bet that sounds great.
I hope so.
Can you get it? I'm sure it's just an automatic, right? I'm
sure.
High in the sky for wanting a 6-speed manual.
Yeah. All right, it's going to be the rotary dial.
Oh yeah, I don't like that engine.
Star Trek.
I don't know.
Anyways.
Old fashioned. We like that. Bring that. Minus this. I don't like that one.